5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, welcome to another video by me, Techie Prepper. So today we're going to cover a topic that I think goes overlooked by a lot of people, and that is batteries. Now, a lot of people may think they have their battery needs covered in case of an emergency, long-term power outage, etc. But if you look around your house, you'd be surprised at how many hidden batteries that you have, or batteries that you never think of, that you count on for everyday life to keep, modern conveniences and or safety issues, at bay. So I got myself a nice iced coffee. I'm ready to go. Let me put this down. It actually almost got squeezed off my table. I got so much stuff on here that I want to go through, but I had to make room for it. That being said, let me start off with my housekeeping items. If you find this video helpful or you like the content, please like it and subscribe to my videos so you know when more are coming. And most importantly, I do these videos to help people. So if you find something in this video helpful or that might help family, friend, etc., then please share it with them. And if you'd like to share a coffee with me, I'll put my Bitcoin address here and down below in the comments. And as always, any of the items that I use or that I recommend in my videos, I will put the direct links for down below in the comments. And with that all being said, let's get right to it. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I believe in having a power plan. And what do I mean by that? I like to know what I need to operate all of my equipment as far as batteries, etc. So not only do I want to know what they use, but I like to standardize them. And what I mean by standardize is I want to use standard battery types in every piece of equipment that I can. And I mean AA's, AAA's, C's, D's, 9 volts, and yes, even button cells, the CR 2025s, 2032s, the 344s, 357s, those type. And why I want to do that, and I like to do that, it goes back to standardization. Now there's benefits to that. If you use all the same battery types or just a few battery types in all of your equipment, they're easily available. And what I mean by that is you can go to your local convenience stores, your big box stores, your hardware stores, your dollar stores, just about anywhere, newsstands, just about anywhere sells those type of batteries. So if there's a big rush on them before a hurricane, a blizzard, rolling brownouts, etc., they're all over the place. And as a matter of fact, you probably have some kicking around your house in a drawer that you put away somewhere, or a box when you got a new piece of equipment. They gave you some HD heavy duty batteries or something, and you just threw them in a drawer somewhere. Odds are you have some of these around, and they're very easy to get if you don't. And as a last resort, you can always count on the charitable neighbors that you have around you, maybe if things aren't too rough, to give you some, because they probably have a bunch kicking around in their house as well. So if you have non-standard batteries, and what I mean by that is mostly like people with flashlights and stuff, they'll have CR123s, 18650s. Those are semi-standard batteries, but not really. Those, sometimes you go to let's say you go to Walmart or Lowe's or something, they may have them, but especially Walmart or Target or something, they may be sold out of them. So, and convenience stores generally don't carry them, so they're a little harder to get. So if you have items that have to run off those, make sure that you plan to have some of those for backup. Now, you want to plan to have several weeks worth of batteries, because I've been, after hurricanes, I've had power out for, this is back in the day, but I had power out for, I think it's 10 or 12 days. And you'd be surprised how much you count on the everyday conveniences around you and how much you miss them when something like that happens. So if you're going to use alkaline batteries or heavy duty batteries, generally they have a lifespan of about 10 years if you buy a name brand. And you want to make sure, like I said, go through, find out what in your house takes them, uses AA, AAAs, etc., and make sure that you have enough to last yourself about 2 weeks. That's a good standard point, starting point. Also, you can use lithium. They have about a 20-year lifespan, standby life. Those are really nice to have. They're a little more expensive, but I got mine on clearance. And if you find them on clearance, grab them and store them away. Here, I don't have my C or Ds or my 9 volts in here because I actually just had to refresh them. I just went out and bought a couple packs, and I didn't get them in time for the video. I should have thrown them in there. Maybe more professional, but I'm not really professional. I don't consider myself a professional videographer, so I missed out on that one. But you know, also have some of those. If your equipment takes them, make sure that you stack those up and you have those ready to go. So if you are going to use rechargeable batteries, I prefer eneloops or Amazon Basic high capacity ones, the older ones, and I prefer the ones that are made in Japan. They do make a lot of Chinese ones, but I don't mess with those because generally the capacity is lower. They kind of misrepresent the ratings on those, and they don't tend to last as long. Not in all cases. It's just kind of a basic generalization from my experience. So I stick with the batteries made in Japan. I would double check that before you buy them if you're going to buy some. And it's important if you use rechargeables to make sure that you have a way to recharge them, right? So say you have an Xbox in your house and you know how those things eat through batteries, the controllers, right? So normally it's no problem because you'll have a wall charger or something that came with them and it's plugged into the wall and it just recharges on command, right? Because there's no problem. If the grid goes down, the power goes out, how are you going to recharge those batteries? You need to make sure that you have a plan in place. So what you need to do is make sure that you have a charger, right? Now the normal charger that you use when everything's good and you know you have grid power to your house and everything is fine. You just have to have something to plug that into when the power goes down. Now I am fortunate enough to have built several solar systems at my house and they all have inverters, so I can plug the cord right in and do it off of any one that I have. If you don't have that option, you can get yourself a solar generator / solar battery pack or power pack and have that ready to go, or have the capability to recharge it every day via solar panel, and this will plug right into there, just like it's got a regular AC outlet. You can plug into there and recharge those batteries for all your devices. Another option would be car adapter. They do make chargers and car adapters for them. This one has one right here. So you can actually plug into your accessory port or your cigarette lighter in your car and it will charge the batteries as you're driving around. So that's a good option. Last resort, they make 5-volt battery chargers that will charge generally 2 at a time, 2 AA's or 2 AAA's at a time. And that will plug into any USB accessory port that provides 5 volts. So if you have a laptop sitting around that the battery's charged in and you know you're not going to be using it because you don't have any way to power your router or anything like that or access point, then you can use the power that's in that laptop to power AA, AAA batteries to use in your other devices that you might need. So make sure if you use rechargeables that you have a method to recharge them, okay? It seems like a simple concept, but you'd be surprised how many people take it for granted that they can just recharge them by plugging it into the wall and power's always there. So now there are different classifications that I consider when I talk about batteries. There's obvious batteries, right? Those are the ones that you know about, everybody knows about, they know they have them in their house, and those are generally for flashlights, for your radios, for your remotes, etc. So you're aware of those, but there's a lot of items that you may not be aware of that are kind of sneaky. They kind of hide, right? And they are still important, especially some more than others when you have a power outage for an extended period of time. And some examples of those are your smoke detectors, because they just sit up either on the ceiling or high on a wall somewhere, and you basically forget about them until they start chirping at you. I know you're supposed to replace the batteries once a year. Some people do that, but other people have it happen 2 or 3 in the morning. Something will be chirping in the house, and you have to track it down, and it's always the smoke detector, right? So make sure that you have an extra battery for each one of those that you have, and because if the power's out, there could still be fire. Actually, the chances probably go up if you're using candles and stuff for light. So make sure that you have batteries for that. Carbon monoxide detector. I have one that plugs into the wall. It does use a 9 volt as a backup. And that is hidden too because it sits over in an outlet way over in the corner that we don't use for anything else. It just sits there and it does its thing. And I don't know that that's gone bad until the power goes out and the battery drains and it starts chirping at me. So make sure whatever batteries that takes, you have a battery backup for that, because that's important during power outages as well, because a lot of people will have a generator running, and it's important to make sure that you have a carbon monoxide detector so the fumes don't get into the house and kill you. No easier way to put that. And then you also have life safety batteries. So those would be for CPAP machines, oxygen concentrators, hearing aids, those type of things, right? So you want to make sure that if they don't have a battery pack and they plug directly into the wall, you have an option available, either a generator or something like this, a portable solar power pack / generator that you can actually plug it into and then charge it up via solar panel every day, and then use it again, your CPAP machine at night or your oxygen concentrator. You can charge those up or keep those running when you need to. Now they do make portable units as far as the oxygen concentrators and the CPAPs go, so people can carry them around with them or take them traveling and etc. So if it makes sense financially, I would have a backup battery if I could. If it's cost prohibitive, then make sure you have a way to recharge it. So we've covered the life safety hidden batteries. Other hidden batteries that you may have that you don't think about on a regular basis, you take for granted. Personal hygiene devices, right? Yeah, I'm getting old. This is an ear and nose hair trimmer, right? Now, you may not use one of these, you may use a hair trimmer or something, maybe battery operated shaving equipment, and that can be important to some people because I have friends that have pseudofolliculitis, barbe, and what it means is they get ingrown hairs if they don't shave every day, and they can get ingrown into their cheeks and they get infected sometimes. So that's important, right? If you have personal hygiene items that use batteries, make sure you prepare for them. That goes for toothbrushes as well. Now I do have some manual toothbrushes that I have stored away, but that's for dire emergencies only. For normal everyday use and a week or two power outage, we're going to use our regular toothbrushes, and the ones that we use are all battery operated. So the last thing you want is that during an emergency, you're going to be in close quarters to the people you love and maybe other family members or friends or something that visit your house or whatever. So you don't want to have dragon breath. So make sure your toothbrushes have batteries. So other hidden batteries, these are just kind of general things. Hopefully your cell phones will be working. Everybody will have clocks or a way to tell time. If not, this is like a 20-year-old clock I got a long time ago. It runs on AA batteries. Nice to have this, up in the living room or the kitchen area where everybody kind of knows what time it is in case they don't have any other means of telling time. It goes for watches as well. If you're out clearing, a downed tree or cleaning up the yard or doing whatever maintenance you have to after a storm or after an event, shoveling snow after a blizzard, you want to know what time it is, you got a watch, takes a button cell, you want to make sure you have a spare for it. Now another issue that I've actually run into, and I think this is important as well, is your car. Okay, so I've had two situations present themselves where I needed batteries. I didn't have it, and it really frustrated me. One is your fob for your car, your keychain, right? If you have one of those and the battery goes dead, it's pretty frustrating to have to get the manual key out and do everything and whatever. So I made sure that, it happens at the most inopportune times as well. So I make sure that I have a spare or two on hand for all of our car fobs. And another thing, this almost turned into a disaster, my car battery, right? I go to Costco, I do a bunch of shopping, I have a bunch of frozen and refrigerated stuff in my trunk, and I hop in the car and I hit my button and it goes click, 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 click. No. I've been around cars and I've lived long enough that I know what that means, right? Click, 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 dead battery. I'm stuck in the Costco parking lot, all the stuff's heating up in my trunk, it's like an 85-degree day, sunny, so I don't have a whole lot of time. Luckily for me, a family member was generous enough to buy this for me for Christmas. This is a lithium power pack, and it's a jump starter, and it's very simple to use, dead simple. You have it charged up, you leave it in your car, you take it out, you plug one cable into here, the ends of that cable onto your battery, press a button, you wait literally 30 seconds or a minute, and then you go in and you start your car. That allowed me to save all the food that was in my trunk, got me home, I unloaded everything, and then I had to use it again to start the car to go back to Costco to buy another battery. So take care of your car batteries, including your fobs. Now other things, these are more wants than needs, is entertainment. If you've ever been in the situation, I've been in a few of them where they've gone on where the power's been out and stretched on for 5 days to 12 days. It's important to have family members, especially kids, because they have short attention spans, to have some entertainment. If you have a generator or any other means like this to power an Xbox, TV, etc., make sure you have enough to do your remotes for the TV and whatever devices, and the controllers for the Xbox, etc. Because kids can get pretty cranky when they're bored. But pretty basic statement, but it's true. And these days, I have a TV or two that doesn't have any buttons on it. You have to use the remote to even turn it on or to change channels or change inputs or anything. That's frustrating, so make sure that you have batteries to power those items. Oh, and a mouse. Computer mouse, if you're going to use your computer. It's handy to have a mouse. You do have trackpads, but that thing drives me absolutely nuts. If I didn't have my mouse and I had to use my trackpad, I would go crazy. So, other items that I found actually out in the garage. This is just a pressure gauge. I use it for my tire pressure. It takes a couple button cells. The ones that I have in here to take care of it, thankfully. If not, I'd probably buy a couple and just keep them in here. Probably not necessary in an emergency, but just for everyday use, if I have them in here, and when I go to use this, I won't be frustrated and have to run out to the store just to grab 2 button cells so I can fill the tires on my car. This is an important one. Remember I said I try to buy everything with standardized batteries. Now I've used a lot of multimeters over my years, and a lot of them take button cells. I don't like that. Of course, the company's always bought them for me in the past, which was nice, so I took whatever they gave me. But when I bought my own, I made sure that I got one that uses AAA batteries. And that goes back to standardization. If the power goes out and I'm working on my solar systems and something isn't right, something's not working, I want to be able to troubleshoot it, and I'll be able to use AAA batteries that I have on hand to make sure that this works, and hopefully I can find the problem. So there's little things hidden all over your house that you just don't realize. And even if you think you have it down, you've gone through your whole house, inevitably you'll find something. This happened to me. I happened to be, like I said, preparing for hurricane season and this video, and I forgot that we even bought this. When COVID started, we had, we were looking out for fevers. That was one of the main symptoms. So we had an in-ear thermometer. That wasn't very accurate, so we went and bought a new one. I was lucky enough to find one, highly rated actually, that uses AAA batteries. And I went to look at it literally yesterday. Before making the video, I brought it out, and I opened it up to check the batteries, and sure enough, there was corrosion. The batteries leaked, right? So I had to clean out the battery compartment and everything, take those old batteries out, and thankfully it still worked. I put new batteries in it. And what I did, this is important, in any of the items, like things that you're not going to use on a regular basis, store the batteries outside of the unit if you possibly can. So, like I said, I opened this up, the batteries were leaking, there was corrosion inside, I cleaned it all out, made sure it worked, and then what I did is I put 2 brand new batteries in here, alkaline batteries. I didn't put them inside the unit, I stored them inside the box alongside of it. So everything is still there. When we open it up, you're going to see the batteries. You're going to know you're going to put them in. You put them in, they're brand new, they're good to go. If there's stuff that you use or you're going to rely on in emergency situations, make sure you check it. So my challenge to you is to go through your house and find all the batteries that are hiding. You might be surprised at what you find. So that's all I have for this video. Good luck on your scavenger hunt. I hope you find some batteries that you haven't thought about in a long time, and check them, replace them if necessary, and make sure you have enough batteries on hand to last you, a good 2 weeks, just in case something goes south and you're without power for that long, because it has happened and can happen again for sure. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.